Hi there. Welcome to Worlds Collide, the podcast where I talk to people who moved abroad. I am your host, Victoria, and I just wanted to say welcome to the podcast. Thank you for listening to the podcast, and especially to the new listeners. Hello. So don't forget to push the follow button in the corner of your app so you will always get notified when there's a new episode coming out. And if you are listening on YouTube, then don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so this always first, and now I have this one question for you guys. So this weekend, I was chatting with a group of people that I didn't know. And so this one person asked me this question. So how long have you been in the United States? And my answer was over a decade. And her answer then was, oh, so not that long. So I was like, it kind of feels long, or like it is long to me. And what does it mean for people or for you guys to live abroad for a long time? So when is it short? When is it long? So please let me know your opinion on that. Okay. All right, so now I want to come to introducing today's guest. So meet Vadi. He's the only person who probably says traffic in Los Angeles is not bad. Okay. He is originally from Istanbul and enjoys the California lifestyle. And but he's also an entrepreneur. So we talk a lot about business relations, the differences in talking business between Europe, Turkey, and the United States. So stay tuned for a lot of information and insights for that. Because I think when you are also coming to the United States on business purposes, I think this conversation can be really helpful for you. And then we also talk a lot about his travel adventures through the United States, which is always fun, and I can relate because I love doing road trips here in this country. And and then of course like why he chose the United States and a lot of other things. All right. Here is Vadi. All right. So hi, my guest today is Vadi. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good too. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Sure, it's a pleasure.
Where are you from?
I'm from Istanbul, originally Turkey, and
Oh,
I live in
Istanbul.
Los Angeles right now. Yeah,
Okay,
Venice
you're in
Beach.
Los Angeles. And
Uh-huh.
what brought you to LA?
Yeah, so I had the chance to visit many times. I used to
Uh-huh.
travel a lot and see different countries, and I also work in media and technology. So
Okay.
living and working in California was like
Yeah, sure. That's
like the
kind of the
opportunities and
place to
lifestyle.
be. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. A lot of like music, entertainment, movies, and the great lifestyle. So beach life, which
Uh-huh.
attracted me also here. And
Okay.
you can also drive just to Silicon Valley and also talk
Um,
business, or yeah, we did couple times actually.
I mean, what it's like it's like a what 3 or 4 hour drive. It's not.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
still
yeah,
okay. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
for like
great nature.
American. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
true. And for American distances, is actually quite close.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. After living in the US, like when in Europe, I was like, okay, we fly like 3 hours, 5 hours. It's like a distance. Here, you need to fly like 14 hours, couple times a year,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
okay, we just like couple months ago we fly to Australia, and we were like, okay, 8 a.m. we landed, and now let's start, like walking around, discovering. So you lose the,
You,
that.
the feeling for distance, you definitely lose it because
Yeah.
always when I am visiting my family, it's the same. It's like, oh, yeah, it's just like an hour or 2 hours drive, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's so far!" An hour. That's like a day trip.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
Actually,
"Ah,
yeah.
it's nothing." Yeah.
I had my records here in the US. I drove from Austin to Los Angeles in
Oh god.
4 days,
In 4 days?
7 hours a day. Yeah, 7 hours a day.
Mhm.
And it's like, and one time when I first moved from New York to Los Angeles in
You
30 days, that was more like a road trip,
That was a
but it
road
was
trip.
still a lot of, yeah, a lot of like a big,
But we did
highways and everything.
yeah, we did also the trip, Austin to or San Francisco to Austin, and
Okay.
we also did 4 days.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
And
but
which destinations did you take? Because it's more from
mm,
north.
so we did San Francisco, and then we stayed in Los Angeles,
Uh-huh.
and then we did Tucson.
Ah, okay. So you took the path from south. Yeah, Tucson is
Uh-huh.
very cool, hipster city and very cheap, right?
Yeah, and we stayed in this, under Canva. Have you heard of it? This, like, glamping site.
Okay, that's
So it's, like,
interesting.
in the desert, and it's, like, beneath
Uh-huh.
or, like, next to, like, all the huge cacti, and
Uh-huh.
they're, like, really nice fancy tents with,
Yeah,
like, a real bed inside.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
nice. And then we drove from there to Roswell
Uh-huh.
because, my husband wanted to see all the alien stuff,
Ah, okay, that's cool. And
So,
did you see anything interesting?
I mean, we went to the alien museum,
Okay.
and
We
then
had we had one in Istanbul in the 90s.
what, an
Alien
alien?
Museum.
An alien
Yeah, there was
museum.
an alien museum in
Okay.
Istiklal Street.
Uh-huh.
So not anymore, but there was like a puppet alien greeting people on the street to promote it. It's like a cult
Okay.
place, yeah.
Oh, funny. Yeah, so we did that, and then we drove and then we did, like, one smaller stop in Texas. I think it was called,
Hmm.
oh, I it's
Marfa.
no, 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 not that time. We went to Marfa,
Uh-huh.
but not that time. San Angelo?
San Antonio, maybe.
San
That's
Angelo.
that's a
It's like
nice place to. Okay, then it's maybe
San
smaller city.
Angelo. Yeah, smaller city.
Okay,
It's like 5 hours from Austin.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah. It's exciting to discover, even this continent, Latin America. And so, one of the reasons I thought, okay, I can live in USA, maybe a couple years and just discover the worst, you can see Latin America travel around.
Yeah.
That's exciting, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so and how long are you now in LA?
Okay, so it's my fifth year, but actually during pandemic,
Ah.
like everybody, I
Yeah.
I traveled a little bit. So I was in LA when the pandemic started, and
Mhm.
after a while, after vaccination, I took a year traveling around Mexico. I stayed in Berlin, in Germany, also 3 months.
Mhm.
New York, couple months. So like remote work, but then I got back to LA. So like total 5 years now, but I stayed in LA 4 years.
Okay, and so wait, how could you travel in the pandemic? Or just when it was almost over?
Yes, so because after the vaccination, it
It was okay, after.
started. So Texas was quite open, by the way, and
Yeah, yeah.
because like in pandemic, I went to Austin couple months, and then got the vaccination, and then
Mhm.
started traveling. Yeah,
I see. Okay, so it was after the vaccination because I
yeah,
always
yeah,
think like
yeah, sure.
the lockdown, when nothing was open and like
No,
all the flights didn't go anywhere.
yeah, that was in California.
Yeah, I know. That was the very very hard lockdown.
Yeah, that was also a very like a challenging time, because
Mhm.
I moved in 2019 summer and had
Uh-huh.
like amazing 6 months that year.
Yeah.
Summer like road trip, discovery, and then like I could stay 1 month in New York and then have all this road trip and chat with a lot of people who live in the US, do different
Uh-huh.
things, took my time. And then I started doing stuff like started working and doing a little bit like meetings, joining like interesting, going to San Francisco, going to Vegas for electronic summits, stuff like that,
Sure. Like all
because I
this.
work in technology. And
Uh-huh.
then like doing all those plans, and then the pandemic started, after all those trauma, I was like, what am I doing here? And like it's just another corner of the world, you know.
Yeah.
That was a feeling in pandemic,
Mhm.
being far away to friends and family. That was something, I think, a US feeling maybe, because in Europe you are more close to friends and family,
Right.
and you know.
And so did you go to the US by yourself?
I moved on my own, yeah, but now I live with my partner, my girlfriend,
Mhm.
together since more than 2 years. But
Okay.
when I was moving, yeah, I was on my own.
Okay, so you met her in Los Angeles?
New York.
New York, but you met
Yeah,
her in the
during
US. Okay.
that year when I was traveling. Yeah.
Okay, okay, good. And, so what was for you when you got there the biggest culture shock?
Okay, so in the US,
Uh-huh.
so I should also add I lived in Germany like 5 years,
Uh-huh. Okay.
and I worked with French business partners. So
Mhm.
as a partner in a French business group, three
Mhm.
years. So that was
Uh-huh.
also amazing experience. And you know, also in Europe, a lot of, because I'm Turkish, a lot of exposure to the Middle East and East Europe. Like
Yeah.
even my family, we have some Balkan background, or you know, it's like a
Okay,
mix.
sure.
So
Mhm.
it's a lot of like culture mixing in
Mhm.
my environment, but still living in the US is a different experience. So because as a Turkish person, you look at the West, so you see like Germany or UK or France, you know, like Western cultures. And for me, American culture was also something like that. But when I come here to live, not only for travel,
Mhm.
you see significant differences. I think that's something really like not shocking, but you know, like you learn, you experience. So you know, so that's interesting for me.
Like what?
Like what? For example, Europe is, for example, more sophisticated or culture oriented, or a little bit more like separate identities of countries and cultures and languages, you know.
Uh-huh, yeah.
In US you have more like the mainstream culture, and then local identities around it, but there is a way of like a transactional culture, or business is very impacting everything around, or American way of living in, how can I say, like the special days impacting, like I say like maybe 300 million living in one continent, and the distances are far away,
So big.
but there is one language. So it's like I see a lot of people moving around US, and
Mhm.
it's different, you know. For example, in Europe you are from Amsterdam, or you are from Paris, or you are from Istanbul, so you have like your circle and identity, and then it's still mixing. But here people, I think, they have families in different parts of the US, and
Mhm.
for like career reasons or something else, for academy, they have to change, go to another part of continent, and they maybe stay away for a while, you know, like it's also
It's
different lifestyle.
You mean it's, like, still the same country, but it's, like, just so far away? But,
Yeah.
I cannot agree with you 100%,
Uh-huh.
but,
Okay.
this is since I moved. I think when I lived
Uh-huh.
only, like, in one state, I
Uh-huh.
probably would have said the same back then, but
Mm-hmm.
now, I lived first in California, and now I'm in Texas. So
Mm-hmm.
and, like, the states are, like, complete opposite, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's like the landscape is completely different, nature is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
The culture here is also completely different, and then of
Mm-hmm.
course, politics, whoop, it's like it's
Mm-hmm.
sheer opposites. And, like, if I go just, for example, one state further, for example,
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana
Mm-hmm.
has also so many different cultures, because
Yeah.
there's a big influence from the French,
Mm-hmm.
and all the writing, the food is different, all the Creole
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And I think if you go, like, from state to state, they're all so different, but of course, you're right, they speak the same language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely there is diversity and different cultures mixing.
Mm.
and but it's like a huge continent and sharing also a lot of things in common. That's
Yeah,
what I
it's
wanted to
true.
say.
That's
Yeah,
true. That's true. The
yeah.
same fast food chains and
And also it's like everything is very quick, very quick.
yeah.
They're like so you see it in a lot of places.
Right. And is there like something that like sticks out to you that like is or let's say it this way. Like when you got there, when you not decided just for
Hmm.
traveling but for moving,
Hmm.
um what like stuck out to you? Like what was like, hey, this is like so different.
Hmm. In the US, you mean?
Mhm.
Okay, so for example, when living in Europe, I feel less of an individual because many conversations I start or be a part of in Europe is
Mhm.
somehow rooted with your where you are from, or you know what I mean. So
Okay.
in the US, I can be more maybe somebody who is doing a particular business or who has a particular hobby. People are more into communicating with other people with their what they are into or what they are doing. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But in Europe, I think also people have maybe more like cultural prejudices. That's how I felt many years.
Mhm. Okay. Is it
Still when I go some for example here, and when I have transactions with European people, I
mhm.
sometimes still feel it. Even like people
Okay.
visiting, not living here
Yeah.
maybe it's just like more like a melting pot. But
Okay.
like business events or expos or something like big events, people
Uh-huh.
visiting, they bring their attitudes or
Right,
things
right.
they used to do with them, and then I can feel like, okay, okay, you know what I mean. So it's different.
Is it do you mean they're more hesitant because when they know where you're from or
I mean, maybe because how can I say, um, maybe here more like, people call it a transactional culture. People also focus on what you do, what you are looking for, and if there's
Mhm.
anything in it for them.
Yeah. Okay. So it's all like business reasons
Yeah,
kind of.
and also people also, I mean, being an American is also, most of the people are also immigrants and moved here and grown up.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or when also people from not US move here, they also have a mission to maybe establish themselves here, grow
Mhm.
here, or it's also challenging to live here. I think
Mhm.
like I cannot really give the reasoning, but if you live somewhere which is 10, 15 hours to your home country, and if you live somewhere maybe 1, 2 hours to your home country, it's different challenges. So maybe that
Okay.
will be even impacting the people, and you know
Yeah.
how they are, how they live, or their motivations or routing.
Yeah. Are there many Turkish people in LA?
I have a lot of friends and more Turkish people in East Coast. So
Uh-huh.
a lot I think the most Turkish people in the US are in New Jersey, and
Ah,
some in
okay.
New York. I think Boston, maybe, like more like East Coast,
Mhm.
and some in California. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I have a good friend here from Turkey,
Haha.
and so I know, like, a few of her friends who are from Turkey. But when I was still in California, I don't recall at least meeting a lot of
Haha.
Turkish people.
Yeah, sure. There is also, I think, in Houston and around in Texas, there is
Yeah.
like a big community. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Yes, she was originally in Houston, so maybe.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Houston,
yeah.
Houston. I guess it's also one of the big communities
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. And, so when you moved there, I mean, but you said you visited many times, but what were your expectations like?
Hmm. Okay. So my expectations first, I I've been curious, so I wanted to experience the lifestyle, and
Uh-huh.
you know, talk and get in touch with as many people as possible. see, experience, listen, learn, grow, and then decide like my like I had a business in Turkey and I sold this business to this international company, as I
Ah,
said.
uh-huh.
And then I had like, okay, what can I do? What I want to do in my life. And then I decided I want to live in an English speaking country for the longer term because I wanted to be somewhere where I can root, and do
Okay.
maybe global business and be interacting with more like an international melting pot place. So I was thinking about London, and I
Hmm.
I was already visiting London many times, many years, and have a lot of friends and family there also. And but I thought, London is easy choice. You can go
Uh-huh.
stay a couple of hours. I've been already there, done that. But US is more like, because still in my 30s, why not? I've been growing up with hearing about a lot of like maybe American movies, music,
Sure.
Silicon Valley. It's very impactful culture. And I thought, now if I'm going to live in the US, I'm going to do it right now,
Yeah.
because it's easy to come back. I can live in Berlin or London, or, like, or go back to Turkey, live in southern Turkey, whatever you can do. Also, if you get older, or, but
Mhm.
living in the US is more like a challenging task. And I
Okay.
had the opportunity and the time. So I said, like, let's go and just discover and decide if you want to do it, or if if not. So, like, in pandemic, I was even thinking, okay, should I stay in the US or should I not? And I had the
Mhm.
the O1 visa, which is for 3 years,
Ah, okay.
and it's quite flexible. It's just like I can have the visa, I can live somewhere else, I can come back to US. So I was like thinking, oh, maybe I should live in Europe
Uh-huh.
and just US. I can have a 10-year visa, come do my meetings, do whatever, go back. But then I said, you have the residence permit 3 years, and the pandemic's still going on. Just stay, just do discover, and then you can decide when your visa is ending if you want to extend or not.
Ah, okay. And then you extend it?
Yeah, because I fell in love and I
Ah.
extended, and the business is also going, and pandemic is away. So it's like personal reasons and also, private reasons. And
Uh-huh.
also, I mean, making something here, creating something here. For example, now I have a new company and I have some American investors. I started working with some reputable college as a resident entrepreneur. So you experience, you see things. There was
Uh-huh.
these challenges and this pandemic, and you know what I mean. But then you also meet inspiring people. You have like a good lifestyle here in California. It's just like so you can enjoy, you can do things, and also when you are happy emotionally and you have like a mission as a person, I think it all impacts your journey.
Yeah. Yeah. And so how is your lifestyle then different now in California than in where you were before? I mean, you moved around a lot,
Uh-huh.
but let's say how it would be in Turkey.
Okay, so the places I lived for a longer time. First, Istanbul, which is a big, big city, very dynamic. It's also quite tiring. It's a lot of people,
Okay.
not a lot of recreational places in Istanbul.
Oh, you
That's a
don't?
challenge.
Oh,
Not
I did
much.
not.
Yeah, it's just like a not very healthy lifestyle. It's like outdoor life is like challenging. Of course, there's Bosporus. It's
Mhm.
amazing to visit, to live, to experience 24 hours.
Mhm.
Great city. But like, for example, here, plenty of space. Istanbul is like New York, maybe. It's like very busy, very
Just busy,
tiring.
busy, busy.
But
Uh-huh.
California is so much space. We go play tennis, go to the beach. It's just like, you have all of this in front of you. And
Are
the
you
weather
close
is
to the
always
beach?
nice. Huh?
Are you close to the beach?
Yeah. So we were living right at the beach, like next block. Now
Okay.
15 minutes walk, so a little bit far away.
Oh, wow. Okay, this is good because I mean, LA is big. You could also live
Yeah.
like an hour away from the beach.
Yeah, when I first moved, I was more near to Melrose, which was like 40 minutes to
Uh-huh.
the beach. It was more like a central neighborhood near to West Hollywood downtown and around the
Right,
city.
right.
It was more like logistically central LA.
Mm,
But now
mm.
we are at the beach. And I mean, So I like it. And for example, in Germany, I was a student, and
Ah, okay.
then I was working a little bit, but it was right at the 2008 crisis, big
Mhm,
crisis.
mhm.
And I was just doing something, and living as a student somewhere is also quite different than when you make a living, when you have
Yeah,
more
yeah,
opportunities and income, and
yeah.
so it's yeah. My summer in Berlin 3 years ago was quite fun. So it was
Okay,
like a more like adult life. And
right.
so now Berlin also developed a lot, because I was a student there 20 years ago. So yeah.
Okay. And so okay, and so, but
Hmm.
but oh, no, you said where you had your, business, where you worked the whole time, that was in Istanbul?
Yeah, so I had my own business for 9 years.
Ah, okay.
After I moved back from Germany, I started my own
Okay,
thing. Yeah, in Germany, I was studying, and then I worked a little while, and then I had
okay,
my own business in Turkey, and then France, and now US. Still doing my own thing. Yeah, now
okay.
in the US.
And how would you say does the work-life balance work in the US? Because everybody I talk to here on this podcast, especially
Haha.
who moves away from the US, is complaining about
Hmm.
the working hours, and not even the working hours, but like the work expectations.
Yeah, the culture is like it's people really work a lot. Yeah, that's completely different from Europe, for example. So people they work a lot, they work day and night. Of course, not everybody, but there is a dominant culture like this.
Mhm.
And also, I think I mean, I'm not working on a corporation with wage, so I'm not an
Mhm.
employee. I'm an entrepreneur, and
Right.
I've been also doing consultancy work. So I've been quite flexible, but when I am part of a project, I can see that people are so responsive, quick. I
Mhm.
like that doing business here is so practical, like not like in Middle East or East Europe. It's just like it takes a lot of time to get your payments, for example, in Turkey or around the
Uh-huh.
like region, or in US. It's just like people have a tendency to pay quickly. Everything is like protected, very quick
Yeah.
transactions. But also, how can I say, people work a lot. There is not much work life balance, like you said. And you need to have really good resources to have the balance. And if you want to have a better life quality, better, how can I say, if you like, now we don't have a child, for example, and
Mhm.
we want to have, and this will increase a lot of costs,
Mhm.
here. And a lot of things are here bought with money, and hiring people is expensive, getting
Mhm.
service is expensive. And all these things makes us a very competitive and expensive place to live. And
Mhm.
especially since couple of years, with the inflation, and so
Yeah.
I also observe a lot of people, even struggling. Or so it's just like everybody has their own, like there are people who made amazing like success or opportunities or created, but there
Yeah.
are also a lot of like challenges living here.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Yes, because I mean, like as somebody said to me, like especially for the people who move to
Hmm.
the US, they're not aware of how hard it is for like the
Hmm.
Americans.
Hmm. Definitely. Yeah.
Eh,
It's not easy. It's people work a lot. They expect the best. And I observe also there is less tolerance if you make a mistake, or you know what I mean? People
You ha-
expect you to be very like clear on what you do, what you sell, what you expect.
oh, here you mean you're not
In the
allowed to make
US,
a
in the US.
mistake?
It's just like I see, like people are very, they don't have much time, and they wanna work with the people who are expert in their field and who are
Mhm.
prepared. If you are like that, you can progress quickly. But
Yeah.
I think it took me some time to see and understand the culture, because it's like in Turkey or in Middle East, you can have more like relations. You talk, you get to know each other,
Ah,
you chat
okay.
about things, you have long conversations, and
Uh-huh.
people love doing that. Here, not exactly like that. It's just
Oh,
like
I
very,
see.
very practical, very quick. Yeah,
So it's like, "Give me the answer right now."
yeah,
I
yeah,
I don't have
yeah,
time for this because they don't have time, maybe.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. That's also what I understand after a while. That people are also short on time.
And what about traffic for you? I mean, you
Hmm.
live in the traffic city of the world, I feel like. What do you
Yeah.
think of traffic?
So I don't have like a long commute because I mostly work at home, or just
Uh-huh.
like I had couple offices and I always pick them like walking distance to my
Okay,
home.
perfect. Good
Right
choice.
now
Yeah.
it's like 15-minute walk from my
Uh-huh.
apartment, and so I didn't. But of course, sometimes I need to go to Hollywood or downtown or like
Uh-huh.
different, and then it might take some time to go. But also Istanbul was quite big on traffic. So
Okay.
when I compare, Los Angeles traffic is much, much, much better than Istanbul traffic.
Oh, it's just a plus for you.
Yes, that's surprising for many people living here. I'm like, I love it. It's not much traffic, because in Istanbul they block the roads, or you need to cross the bridge, and it might take really long time. So I was planning everything in Istanbul around the traffic times, which
Uh-huh.
increase and increase and increase after a while. And
Yeah.
now here is easier.
But it's funny because, like, when we moved to Austin, we were
Haha.
also saying,
Ah,
like,
you
the
are in Austin now.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, I didn't
uh-huh.
know. Haha.
So, we were always saying, "That traffic is not bad."
Haha.
And
Yeah.
everybody around us is like, "Traffic is the worst." And we're like, "What are you talking about? It's
Haha.
not bad." Because we were
Yeah.
used to whatever, sitting in traffic, not moving traffic for like an hour, right? Each
Yeah.
direction. And then here it's like 20 minutes, So it's like,
Yeah, you can go anywhere to be minutes. What part of Austin are you?
oh,
South or?
no, we're now north.
Haha.
When we first
Okay.
moved, we were like in the downtown area,
Haha.
but
Yeah,
now we're
North
like,
has some construction going on because I was there like a couple months ago.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's always construction. It's like
Yeah.
growing. My daughter just
Yeah.
asked me today, why are there always so many cranes in Austin? Yeah,
Yeah. A lot going on.
yeah, a lot going on. Um, and so when you moved to the US,
Hmm.
how is
Hmm.
your English?
Yeah, my English was quite fine. Yeah, I
Yeah.
also speak German, but like I can admit, I German is the first foreign language I learned. So
Ah,
because
is it? Okay.
yeah, I was a student in a German high school in Istanbul.
Uh-huh. Ah,
So
okay.
Istanbuler Gymnasium is like
Uh-huh.
so 8 years. This like
Like immersion?
2 year German education, and then 6 year of high school with like physics, chemistry, mathematics like that, and
Uh-huh.
then you got Abitur like
Uh-huh.
German
Yeah.
diploma, and so I started learning German before English, but English is much easier than German. So it's like it's easy to express
Right.
yourself, and so although I'm fluent in German, because like when I was living and working in Germany,
You only
of
speak
course I had
Turkish?
much more practical. Nah, you can do in Berlin. You can survive in Berlin with Turkish
You can
for
survive
sure.
everywhere.
Yeah, in like Köln also. I also
Yeah.
lived in Aachen and Köln for a little bit because I
Okay.
was in Elvetia, Aachen, and then it's just like how can I say? Uh, in for example science you have a lot of German or
Uh-huh.
literature,
Yeah.
but because I do mostly like marketing or computer
Right.
science, it's hard for me to adapt to the English things speaking in German, so it's like a challenge.
Ah, okay. I mean, but it's usually those words are in English, right? And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you
yeah. But in
just
Germany people say like like entwickeln, for example, not like
yeah, yeah.
develop,
Okay, to develop.
like
Mhm.
things like that, or like
Right, right.
there are a lot of
I get
uh,
used to it, yeah.
or
And,
yeah.
when you okay, so you said you don't want to. really talk about too much personal stuff, but I want to ask you, when you moved
Uh-huh.
to LA,
Okay.
how did you find a place to stay? Like the first,
Mm-hmm.
the you what
Okay.
how did
Mm-hmm.
the no, where did you start in the
Okay.
beginning?
Yeah, I can tell more about the procedures and technical stuff. Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. So that was also an experience because, like, for example, when I came to New York, first I fly to New York with like two luggages. Okay, I was like,
Uh-huh.
let's spend some time in the US. I had 6 months tourist visa, and then
Yeah.
I could just say I stay 3 months and go back, and maybe
Yeah.
I move to London. I don't know. It was just decision. So I came to New York. I started, I sublet a friend's apartment. They were going
Ah, okay.
to they were
Mhm.
going to travel. So they
Ah,
were going to
okay.
be gone like a month. So I was like, okay,
Mhm.
1 month in New York, and it was like June. Perfect.
Okay.
And then, meeting people, I even researched a little bit. I was like, okay, if I want to stay in the US, what I'm going to do? So I met some lawyers. I met some people who did it before. And
Mhm.
then about LA, I already had a couple good friends here, like a high school friend,
Mhm.
a college friend. And
Yeah.
people I met before or I met around the world for different businesses or things, and then who moved to LA. So when I came to LA, I just got like an Airbnb for a while, and
Ah, okay.
then like I was asking people, and first I thought I can get a furnished place, furnished rental.
Mhm.
But really, like when you wanna get a furnished rental or get like a lease, even anything, they ask for like social security. Are you living here?
And a
Because I
credit
was like,
report.
huh?
And a
Yeah,
credit
all those
report.
things.
Yeah, you
And
don't
then
have it.
you don't have it. I
Uh-huh.
was like, because I was thinking maybe now it's been like 5 years. I don't exactly remember, but maybe get like a furnished place for 3 months. Let's see if I'm going to get a visa, approval, whatever.
Mhm.
But then it was like everybody was asking about this. And then a friend of mine told me, oh, there is this like a place called Park La Brea, which is like near to Lacma and Melrose. It's like a managed apartment complex. So there are maybe like
Mhm.
300 apartments there. And then you go there, you can rent from a company, and it's
Yeah.
easier. They rent to
Ah.
foreigners. You need to show some cash in the bank, like
Ah,
they are more
okay.
like, oh, you need to show me like 12-month rental uh,
Ah,
in
okay.
your bank account, then it's okay. So I did
Ah,
something like
okay.
that. Yeah. So I
So
got like a bank approval, and then just
okay.
rented from the company, and it was unfurnished. So I had
Okay,
to buy some furniture. Yeah.
sure. But, so okay, so if you're lucky and you have the income or the money, then it's
Yeah, I
it's
think so.
doable.
Yeah,
Because
it's easier. Yeah,
yeah,
in the
because,
US.
like, when I think back, like, I always lived with roommates in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and, so the first place when I was a student, I think she was like, "Okay, you're a student, of course you don't."
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember, like, when I came back to the US as an intern,
Mm-hmm.
um, my the place where I then ended up, she was, like, also really nice. I just
Mm-hmm.
We just got along, so that's why she rented it, but we had, like, another roommate, and she
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Wait, you didn't ask her for her Social Security number? She doesn't have a credit report? How can
Mm-hmm.
you rent to her? That is so
Ah, okay. So
irresponsible,"
yeah.
you know? So she was really against it because she
Mm-hmm.
was like, "No, no, no." It's like, what if she's a scammer or something, right? Like,
Yeah, I think
I'm
that's
like,
also yeah.
"How do you do it?" And then,
Mm-hmm.
later, when I moved here,
Mm-hmm.
I also
Mm-hmm.
my friend, she was like the main tenant of like a house,
Mm-hmm.
and she had like 5 rooms available, and then I said,
Mm-hmm.
I can, I." So, then she was also like, "Okay, you can live here." But I remember also it was
Mm-hmm.
like tricky because I didn't have a credit report, they
Yeah,
were like
it
always
takes
like,
time to build it.
It's just like, "I don't know what to do, you don't have a credit report."
Yeah,
Yeah, so
because
I'm like,
I think here people don't trust a lot other people. Maybe
"No."
in Europe it's more safe. It's more
Yeah.
like more balance in the income, and it's just like more regulated. And here it's just like you said, there are scammers or people who are in big debt or not paying.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
It's just like a more like a, yeah, place where you need to be cautious. And I'm always careful with some insurance, or like in a car. I want to have like, I don't give my car to a friend because he's not in the insurance. Because
Right,
if he
right.
crashes, then it can be big, big, big trouble. There can be something. Somebody can go to hospital. Somebody can, you know what I mean. So it
Yeah.
can be then like, it can be like $1 million car which crash, and then you are liable of that because your friend drove the car, and it's like it can be bad for the friend. Like
Yeah,
there are a lot of risks you need to manage here.
you need to check this. But usually I think your car insurance usually covers it because I rented my car, I borrowed my
Hmm.
car. No, I lent my car to friends for like a couple of months. And
Uh-huh.
before I did that, I checked, and in my whatever, I had the cheapest
Uh-huh.
progressive insurance, but it
Uh-huh.
was covered.
Yeah, yeah. If you add your friend to the insurance,
I
but if
didn't even
your
have it
friend
was
doesn't have like
automatically.
a driving license or something,
Yeah, okay, then
yeah,
it's different. No, no,
yeah,
then it's
yeah,
different.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And okay,
Uh-huh.
is there anything that you miss?
I'm gonna go to Turkey in a couple of weeks. So
Okay.
I definitely miss the great food and family.
Uh-huh.
Also family, friends. So
Yeah.
gonna stay a couple of weeks. First, we will go to Paris, my girlfriend, her hometown,
Okay.
and yeah, just yeah, love spending time with friends and family, and the great food, and also um, I also like the culture when you are also in, how can I say, among the people you also grow up with or you shared a lot.
Yeah.
It's I mean, here now I have a lot to do. I have a lot of mission. I enjoy, but now I go like 2 times a year back to Turkey, and I
Mhm.
enjoy it. Like I do a lot of things, see a lot of friends, and see
Mhm.
family, spend time for anything, and I
Mhm.
enjoy it. Yeah.
It's different if you have the same roots.
Yeah, 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 definitely.
Yeah.
And you can also share. You progress in your life, your friends also progress, and you catch up. It's like what I like. For example, now, like last week, I was in San Francisco, for example, and I
Mhm.
have some friends from high school, this German high school, and then we just
Uh,
met. They live in now in San Francisco.
uh-huh.
When I was living in Europe, I couldn't be in touch with them for a while. And
Okay.
after years, you regroup again, and like
Uh-huh.
you know each other since you are 10, so you are like good friends.
Yeah.
But it's been some years, and then you connect again. It also happened also in LA, for example. I have friends which I lost touch for several years, and now we hang together. Like we go, oh, let's get an ice cream. Oh, let's have a coffee. Like it's just like um, living in another place connects you with those people again.
It
So
does,
it's
it
like,
does.
yeah, it's I like it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I like it, that's true. And is there anything that you don't get? Like, still?
Here in the US,
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's just many times people don't give you a feedback. They ignore or conflict.
Yeah,
They don't want
uh-huh.
to get into conflict. Like,
Uh-huh.
for example, because I have a lot of German culture, in my education since high
Uh-huh.
school, we are impacted. We had a lot of also literature or living in Germany. People are very direct. I like it. I'm also very direct, and people share with you feedback, negative or positive. In
Yeah,
US, people have a tendency to have like a nice chit chat, small talk, maybe
yeah,
more than Europe, more than Germany, maybe more
yeah,
like but
yeah.
then if you really want to have like a real conversation,
Uh-huh.
there are a lot of people escape it, or a lot of people
Okay.
ignore it.
Mhm.
That's, I still don't get it, really. It's
Okay.
like, why do you, for example, somebody tells you something and invites you, or like talks about, okay, we can talk about this, let's do it, let's, and then you send an email or you send an SMS, or you want to follow up, they ignore, like ghost. It's like
Okay, it's
you
like
can say, okay, like I'm not interested, or we talk, like just like, why?
is
That's I don't really get it.
I mean, I also don't like conflict, so I can
Me neither.
relate. But, but I know it's true. I know from my friend, she's always very frustrated because she's on a job hunt right now, and whenever she, was in a job interview and doesn't
Hmm.
hear back, and then, like, later on, she hears, like, "Oh, yeah, that position is filled by," but not directly from the hiring people, but then
Hmm.
somebody around the corner you hear it from. So it's like, "Hey, wouldn't it be nice to let me know what's going on?
Yeah,
Because
no feedback,
so then
right?
I can move on too, you know?"
Yeah, especially in business, not a lot of feedback. Like you make the meeting, okay, you're about to sell something, or and then nothing comes, or it's just
Yeah.
like they don't uh, they don't feel any responsibility to give you any feedback, or it's just like if it happens now. But I observe this. Okay, it is what it is. American term. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
That's why I like do a lot of like, okay, let's do marketing, and if people are interested, they will come and they will just buy it immediately. They will do something. They will, if they really want to be a part of something, or if they really need it, they follow up. Either it's
Uh-huh.
weekend or not. So I change my strategy here. It's like a big ocean, and people who want to do something, they will be there. They will come to you, and if they don't, you don't need to follow up 3 times, 5 times, and push people. So I think it's a difference.
Yeah, maybe that's why also, like, you always have these endless, sales marketing people on the
Yeah, yeah,
phone.
definitely. Yeah, there is like push, 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 sell, sell, sell. Yeah,
Yeah, but
it's really
also,
hard to be seen.
do
Hmm.
you have that in LA where you are too, that people are knock on your door to sell you stuff?
Like, come to the apartment? No, I
Yeah.
don't have it.
Oh, you're so
No,
lucky.
it's
Like,
like,
here, it's all the time, like, knock on the door, and then
uh-huh.
it's like, "Here, Spectrum, use my internet. Here, new windows. Here."
They call you. I don't like when they call you with phone, for example. I don't really like it. Yeah,
No, I mean, I don't
phone
pick up
calling.
when I don't know the number
Yeah.
anymore because it's, like 99% of the times it's like some sales or some scam.
Hmm.
But like the people that are knock on your doors, that it's like, oh, because I'm
Yeah, I never had it. I'm
oh
surprised.
yeah. Maybe you
Maybe it's not allowed in California, or did it happen to you in California too? Or
no, it didn't happen to me in California, but also like we
okay.
didn't live in a house,
Hmm.
so
Okay, so
maybe
now
I
in more
think in
approachable. Okay.
so like now it's like different. When we were in an apartment, then I
Hmm.
guess people are always, like, assuming they are just renters anyway, they're not doing
Uh-huh.
anything or whatever, but here, it's like, "Oh, this could be a homeowner.
Uh-huh.
Let's sell her everything."
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do people usually react when they hear you're from Turkey?
Yeah, they are either motivated to travel for a vacation, or
Uh-huh.
or they've been there, they like it. They like people mostly traveling to Turkey. They have a great time, because
Yeah.
they get a lot of attention. So we have a warm culture.
Mhm.
Especially, I even worked in the marketing campaigns of promoting Turkey with the
Ah,
tourism
okay.
ministry or Turkish Airlines. So I interacted a lot of with a lot of people around
Mhm.
this topic as well.
Mhm.
And like, we used to also communicate the hospitality of people in Turkey, warm culture, and hosting and making you feel home. So it's like part
Mhm.
of the culture. And I always hear like positive thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's always vacation kinda, right? Because it's like a vacation spot, I would
Uh-huh.
say,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
for
yeah. A lot of
people here. I
beach, and
mean,
also history, and like, now we got Göbekli Tepe, for example, the oldest place in the world, like
right,
10,000 B.
exactly.
Yeah, so it's like or like, amazing food. Now I have friends here, for example, two Turkish friends. They
Mhm.
have an event called Turkish Breakfast Club, but it's very
Uh-huh.
California style. So it's just like very hipster. It's like an expensive event. They
Uh-huh.
dance, they party, and there is like a big Turkish breakfast table, you know. And
So it's just
people joining are not Turkish. Most of them are like American or like California people. So it's a good example.
oh, nice. So it's just like almonds and olives and spread.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
a lot of food, and then like mixing it with the Venice or like LA
Oh, yeah,
lifestyle.
yeah. I mean, that's fun. That's
Yeah,
fun. Let me just look through my questions real quick.
sure.
How did you make friends?
Okay, so I'm quite a social guy. I love, going out, meeting people, going to events. I think like if I can give some tips to people who want to socialize, like people are very open in the US first, and hobbies and going to events, meetup groups, for example, is quite
Uh-huh.
nice because people socialize in a specific, like topics, and people love having hobbies also. Like
Yeah.
even you can go to, for example, like here, comedy shows are quite popular, right?
Right, right. Yeah.
You don't need to just go to a comedy show and listen to it. You can go to an improv, you can
Right. Yes.
practice your English, and you can be part of the conversation. And after the improv, people go have a beer and chat, or like whatever you do. Let's say you are like when I was living more near to Hollywood, I used to go to events of Hollywood industry meetup. I'm not in Hollywood, but I love to go there and talk with like actors or screenwriters or so
Ah,
it's like
okay.
they do like, of course, if you have something you can contribute to them, and
Right.
you can be part of the conversation. That's important. And
Ah,
also when I have like a friend or a business connection, or I always like, I don't expect people to reach out to me. Some people are like that, like they like to be snobby, or like they go
mhm.
home and maybe watch a movie, or I don't know. So I love reaching out to people, listening to their stories, catching up with them, and it teaches me like love of learning. So it
Yeah.
also creates like a lot of connections, or do intros to people to each other,
Mhm.
or yeah, I think that's quite a way to socialize if
Yes.
you know
I remember like when we first moved to Austin, I also joined meetups,
hmm hmm
but I never went
okay.
because I'm not really like an extroverted person. So I like meeting people, but like one on one, So, but if I'm just new to a huge group, I just end up talking to nobody because
Uh-huh.
I don't know like where to start. I'm not like going like, hey, here I am. You waited just for me, So I'm like,
Yeah, maybe
not
we
for
can go to a
me.
book club or something more
Ah,
like intro.
I mean, now I'm good, but like in the beginning, it was like I don't know anyone. How are they gonna do this?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's like you have your first circle, and friends, like school friends or family, and then you have your more like business circle. That's
Mm-hmm.
also a way. And you have
Yep.
your hobbies. I think these
Yep.
three things,
Yeah.
and yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think I mostly got it, I think.
Yeah, cool. We had a nice chat.
Yeah, we had a nice chat. Thank you for being on my podcast.
A
Let me just
pleasure.
look through my questions one more time.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Let me open the lamp. It's getting dark here.
Um, yeah, actually, I do have one more question. So, what is your
Mm-hmm.
plan now on staying? Well, you're just gonna renew your visa over and over?
Here,
Yeah.
yeah, I might get a green card soon and have a residence
Uh-huh.
permanent residence permit. And we love living in LA right now, so it's good. If my girlfriend gets another job, she's more in corporate. I'm very flexible as an
Okay. Yeah.
entrepreneur. Maybe we might relocate. She
Okay.
was, maybe New York, or like even so. But now we are good in LA. But maybe in the future, Paris or London or
Okay,
even
you're
yeah,
open
anything.
to
But now
anything.
we really embrace the lifestyle here. We love it. So it's just
Uh-huh.
like yeah. But like
Yeah.
I have still until end of next year,
Okay.
2025. Still,
Uh-huh.
my like visa is
Mhm.
continuing. It's like yeah,
Yeah.
so no problem with paperwork.
Yeah. Ugh, they always take so long, and I mean, I don't know. Yeah. We'll
Yeah,
get to it once I stop recording.
yeah, it's just like if you like you get a lawyer, you have a lot of paperwork, but I I observed since I'm in the US, people who just want to sort it out. Really, I didn't see many people who had problem. But sometimes it takes a lot of work. You send documents,
Yeah.
it comes back. For me, it took maybe 3 weeks to get the visa for 3 year. It was quick.
Yeah.
It's just like, but I had really like a big like a file because I
Yeah.
already had a lot of documents about me
Right.
archived. Yeah, it's like my
Okay.
hobby. I
So
archive
okay.
everything. Yeah,
So you already had everything in order, and
yeah.
then you just
If you
need
are
to
like
like.
that, you submit. Yeah.
And what is the O2 visa?
O1 is like
Oh, O1.
for creatives, for artists, for entrepreneurs. It's like you prove
Ah,
your
you have the artist
expertise.
visa.
Yeah, so you prove your
Ah,
expertise in the field you are working. For me, it's like creative technology, multimedia. I had like
ah,
awards or interviews or like I've
I
been doing
see.
like I was on
Oh,
TV for that. Like so, it's like if you are in media, if you are a little bit like well known, you can get it.
okay. So you already kind of had your portfolio there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
sure.
All right. All right. Um, no more questions. I'm gonna stop the record button.
Okay,
All
cool.
right. Yeah, that was Vadi. For me, it's always super interesting to hear what kind of visa people have. And Vadi was the first person that I talked to who was on an O1 visa. I actually never even heard of that before. Yeah. So I wish him good luck on the green card and on his paperworks. And I hope everything will work out great. If you want to reach out to me, please do so in writing me an email. It's worldscollide123pod at gmail.com. Or you can also reach out on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and all the info of that is in the show notes. There are also 2 links from Vadi in the show notes. Yeah, and I hope you tune in again for the next episodes. Episodes are always coming out on Thursdays. So stay tuned. Until then, I see you. Bye.